Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Saturday, April 17th, at 3:26 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 682 headlines from 108 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. Coach taking photos of student athletes, what Casey area school uproar says about COVID. Boise Council asks neighbors not to harass each other with new parking law. As debate on Snake River dams churns, tribes quietly lead the way in reintroducing salmon. Clovis police searching for shooting suspect. Philippine troops kill Egyptian, 2 Filipino militants. Mike Pompeo and his wife misused State Department resources, federal watchdog finds. Littman, want more gun control? Don't make it about AR-15s. How to spot and correctly identify North Carolina 6 venomous snakes. Biden press secretary shuts down call to remove Thomas Greenfield over white supremacy remarks. His co-workers were stealing his marijuana, police say. He's now been charged with murder. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Live updates, British royal family to gather for funeral of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, The Washington Post. NASA astronaut Kate Rubins, crewmates return safely to Earth, NASA. Law enforcement moves in, makes arrests on 6th night of Brooklyn Center protests, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Colton Underwood make it show after coming out as gay, why there's backlash, CNET. Vadim Nemkov defends Bellator light heavyweight title, books ticket to semifinals, ESPN. Jake Paul vs Ben Askren, live round-by-round updates, MMA fighting. These technologies could hold back business travel indefinitely, The Wall Street Journal. Clippers vs 76ers takeaways, Joel Embiid power Sixers to win despite solid performance from Paul George, CBS Sports. Authorities investigate after blood clot death likely linked to AstraZeneca vaccine, ABC News, Australia. Roger Stone got a pardon from Trump, but now the feds are suing him for $2 million in unpaid taxes, BuzzFeed News. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. Courtney Cox shows she's without doubt a Monica in viral kitchen video. Global death toll from COVID-19 tops 3 million. Prince Philip to be remembered as man of courage, fortitude and faith at funeral. Delaware mulls human composting as eco-friendly alternative to burial, cremation. Colbert asked viewers for new nicknames for Trump and they didn't disappoint. Queen Elizabeth shares private, candid photo of herself and Prince Philip ahead of funeral. Anderson Cooper shares the sad fact about mass shootings in the U.S. Nativist crab, critics erupt in fury over new conservative Anglo-Saxon caucus. Business PAC donations tank to Republicans who challenged Biden vote, report. Trump EPA official reportedly blocked warning about carcinogenic pollution in Illinois. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. Woman seen on video heading Korean owner indicted. Thousands of dead fish spotted in waters. Landfill workers arrested for conspiracy charges. Nonprofit helps people recovering from addiction. Chase of prisoner then ends with inmate arrested. Registry mailing free reusable masks to residents. Dump truck driver arrested for DUI. Officer severely burned when suspect threw Molotov cocktail. Teen leaves hospital after receiving transplant. Friends lay flowers where teacher was killed. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. World virus death toll nears 3 million. Britain prepares for Prince Philip's funeral. What we know about the Indianapolis shooting. Video of Chicago police fatally shooting Adam Toledo was released. Myanmar protesters armed themselves with homemade weapons. Prince Philip's funeral marks the end of an era for UK royal family. 100 days without Trump on Twitter, a nation scrolls more calmly. These countries did well with COVID, so why are they slow on vaccines? Danica Rome, a path-breaking lawmaker, on the fight for trans rights. In the middle of chaos, living with the Dante Wright protests at the front door. The following headlines are from the sixth most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. Robert De Niro struggling to keep up with wife's thirst for Stella McCartney, divorce lawyer. Simona de Silvestro returning to Indy 500 with first female-operated racing team. Aries AG Mark Brnovich, Supreme Court versus cancel culture, here's how justices can strike a blow for liberty. Win $1,000 on the Fox Super 6 Late Inning Challenge on Saturday. 3 California police officers ID'd after 11-hour San Diego standoff left fugitive dead. Kimberly Holmes, what Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth's relationship teaches us about our own. Prince Philip had one important piece of advice for the younger royals before his death, filmmaker says. Death House landlady Dorothea Puente possessed a black heart, welcomed her victims in a loving way, Doc. Ohio shooting at Bob Evans restaurant, waitress dead, ex-boyfriend arrested, police. Riots, protests in Minnesota, Chicago, elsewhere in reaction to police shootings. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Saturday, April 17th. The next headlines are from the seventh most popular news website, with 63 million estimated monthly unique visitors, CBS News. The sky's the limit for the U.S. economy, says economic analyst Keith Urban on what it's like to win an ACM award. That nomination is the first award. When they call your name out, it is quite surreal. Prince Philip funeral, how to watch, stream CBS coverage. Sacramento area deputy investigating mail theft finds out he himself was a victim. Stimulus check update, are you eligible for a plus-out payment? Therapist Dr. Orna Guralnik on COVID-19 pandemic, people are capable of a lot more than they knew. Stephen Hill and Zachary Knighton on taking over Magnum PI, very blessed to have a torch from 30 years ago passed to us. Watch, 56th ACM Awards come to CBS and Paramount Plus on Sunday, April 18th. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Prince Philip funeral, armed police form ring of steel around Windsor Castle and Buckingham Palace. Sharon Osbourne calls Prince Harry poster boy of white privilege and defends Piers Morgan. I'm not dead, bowler feared to have been killed after being hit by 120 miles per hour cricket ball comes round. Prince Philip funeral, how the UK will pay respects as public told to stay away from Windsor. Helen McCrory and Damian Lewis serenade newlyweds in photo months before her death. Fans return to live sport as World Snooker Championship gets underway in Sheffield. Sarah Ferguson surprisingly close to Queen despite not being invited to Prince Philip's funeral. Prince Philip funeral, dawn breaks over Windsor as Queen prepares to bid farewell to husband. Helen McCrory's hidden cancer battle, actress swore friends to secrecy. Huge wildfire tears to across Scottish hillside overnight. The following headlines are from the 9th most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is The Washington Post World News Feed. Iran names suspect in Natanz attack, says he fled country. Live updates, British royal family to gather for funeral of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Iran state television names suspect in attack that damaged centrifuges at Natanz nuclear site, says he fled the country. Patients evacuated as fire blazes in Johannesburg hospital. Worldwide COVID-19 death toll tops a staggering 3 million. Russia's surveillance state still doesn't match China, but Putin is racing to catch up. Myanmar pardons prisoners, unclear if activists among them. Chile leads the Western Hemisphere in vaccinations, the coronavirus is still surging. Who will be the next Duke of Edinburgh? Britain debates Prince Philip's legacy, servant of Queen and country, or symbol of white male privilege? The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's U.S. news feed. A beach town seized a black couple's land in the 1920s, now their family could get it back. Coronavirus will hive news, global death toll tops 3 meters, concerns Indian COVID variant could scupper UK roadmap. MLS finds Inter Miami broke budget rules with Blaise Matuidi signing. Yoga can leave you injured, psychotic and a Hindu, Christian groups claim. My night out in New York took me across the latest COVID dividing line. Emma Brooks. Biden faces pressure to end practice of rewarding allies with plum foreign posts. Malcolm Gladwell, I deplore people who deny the extent of their privilege. Acclaimed photographer June Newton, A Life in Pictures. I once became an editor by mistake. It taught me to value the people behind the scenes. Hadley Freeman. Wilhelm Reich, the strange, prescient sexologist who sought to set us free. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. Trump's influence over GOP is tested in early 2022 fundraising. Families torn apart by killer dad reflect on the years they believed he was a hero. Raul Castro confirms he's resigning, ending long era in Cuba. Billionaire Beijing critic jailed over Hong Kong pro-democracy protests. California woman says she drowned children to protect them. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Biden backtracks on keeping Trump cap on refugees. Brazil needs $10 billion to reach zero emissions, says minister. Indianapolis FedEx gunman was former employee. Hijab regulations, 2 women's experience. Nepal fires, we saw huge flames coming towards our garden. Why is involvement in Mozambique is exaggerated? On the front line in eastern Ukraine. India's Kumbh festival attracts big crowds amid devastating second COVID wave. Facebook oversight board delays decision about Trump's possible return. 20 years in Afghanistan, was it worth it? The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. Man who walked into Ohio Bob Evans and fatally shot waitress captured after manhunt, police say. Indianapolis police identify 8 victims of FedEx shootings, say 19-year-old gunman who died by suicide was a former employee. Police confirm fatal shooting of man in Portland. Biden, U.S. shootings a national embarrassment. Alaska to offer COVID-19 vaccinations to tourists. In California, deadly virus in rabbits threatens to upend some western ecosystems. Evolution of a city's account of a killing, how Chicago's narrative changed in the fatal police shooting of Adam Toledo. Today in history for April 17th. April features a pair of cosmic spectacles, the annual Lyrid meteor shower and 2021's first supermoon. I don't know if he's okay. FedEx workers at Indianapolis facility cannot carry phones. After shooting, many couldn't call family. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. A hard-hit community needed vaccines. Here's how a clinic came together in a church parking lot. California hospitality workers laid off during COVID-19 pandemic get rehire rights. Mountain biker rescued hanging headfirst off a cliff on Mount Wilson in Angeles National Forest. 9th Los Angeles Police Department employee dies from COVID-19. Shooting among Fresno farm workers leaves 1 dead, 2 injured. California is clawing back from pandemic recession, but some have quit the job hunt. COVID-19 vaccines, minus the needle, researchers working on capsules, nasal sprays. Half of eligible Californians at least partially vaccinated, state says. Newsom recall gives Antonio Villaraigosa a risky road to political comeback. Will he take it? LA County and city libraries will reopen soon. Here's what to expect. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Saturday, April 17th, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More from other news sources is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. NASA chooses SpaceX to build moon lander. Ethiopia, 3 killed, 19 injured in Tigray as Eritrean troops open fire on civilians. A cancer vaccine is in development by COVID-19 vaccine maker, using the same tech. Single-use plastics to be phased out in Australia from 2025 include plastic utensils and straws. India record 234k fresh COVID cases, 1,341 deaths in 24 hours. Ireland encourages remote work to repopulate rural areas. Hope for men with advanced prostate cancer after Australian treatment trials. Yoshihide Suga affirms tight bond between U.S., Japan in visits with Joe Biden. Myanmar military suffers heavy casualties in attacks by ethnic armed group in Kachin State. Alberta, Canada, unanimously passes law recognizing the Armenian genocide and other genocides. Bhutan vaccinates 93% of eligible adults in under 2 weeks. Human rights lawyer Steve Donziger faces a court case for criminal contempt after decades fighting to prove Chevron's responsibility polluting the Amazon rainforest. Central Intelligence Agency chief, erosion of democracy is a very real problem in many parts of the world. Peru establishes 2.7 million acre rainforest reserve for isolated indigenous peoples. Hong Kongers say they're being targeted by Chinese agents on Canadian soil. The next headlines are from Forbes. Billionaire investor, why Elon Musk will be $1 trillion man. Vince Carter says the Brooklyn Nets are the team to beat for the NBA championship. Natural selection tour winners Mikhail Bang and Robin Van Gyn talk winning bronze, snowboarding's future. Felix Silla, cousin on the Addams Family, dies at 84. Pompeo's wife had state staffers make hair appointments, walk dog, ethics probe fines. Fed sue Roger Stone over almost $2 million in unpaid income taxes. McCarthy slams nativist dog whistles as GOP right-wingers form caucus promoting Anglo-Saxon values. The best new movies to stream on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, HBO, Disney Plus and Peacock this weekend. Macy's backstage move as an escalator down, not up. White House promises boost in refugee admissions after outrage from Democrats. The next headlines are from Nature.com. Author correction, synthesis and breakdown of universal metabolic precursors promoted by iron. Author correction, rebuilding marine life. The race to curb the spread of COVID vaccine disinformation. Mayor reverses Trump-era restrictions on fetal tissue research. Coronapod, could COVID vaccines cause blood clots? Here's what the science says. Ice on the Alps' highest peak, details of pollutants rise. Flowers adapt to welcome the birds, but not the bees. Wiggly signal hints of an aurora on a planet far from the solar system. COVID vaccines and blood clots, 5 key questions. Will the United States make its most dramatic climate pledge yet? The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,699,203,219 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. Visions Durrell 2021, 11 Project Profiles. Visions Durrell premiere. The bubble goes behind the facade of Florida's idyllic retirement community The Villages. Zinder Review, a plain, punchy postcard from the meanest streets of Niger. Seoul, Tenet and Greyhound win MPSE Golden Reel Awards. Soul and Wolfwalkers take top honors at any awards. Sharon Osbourne blames disgruntled ladies for her ouster from the talk. On what would have been Selena Quintanilla's 50th birthday, how the late Tejano star still influences today. Oscar sweepers may be thing of the past. Iced Earth guitarist who became emblem of pro-Trump mob is first Capitol rioter to plead guilty. Singer-songwriter Angel Olsen announces she is gay. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. Here's what you should know about Biden's new rules for fetal tissue research. All federal inmates to be offered vaccine by mid-May, BOC director says. Liberty University sues ex-president Jerry Falwell, Jr., seeking millions in damages. Coronavirus frequently asked questions, you're vaccinated, cool, now about those breakthrough infections. Hundreds of Fair Festival ticket holders poised to win payout in class action suit. Russia retaliates against Biden's new sanctions, expelling 10 U.S. diplomats. Cuba without a Castro, the island's old guard exits the stage. Law professor, police hold extraordinary power over black people in traffic stops. Senators urge Biden to shut down Guantanamo, calling it a symbol of lawlessness. Oath Keepers member is first to plead guilty in Capitol riot investigation. The following headlines are from The Week. Biden administration will increase refugee cap after Democratic criticism. Democrats condemn Biden's reversal on refugee cap as cruel and unacceptable. The Daily Gossip, Chrissy Teigen is back on Twitter, Madison LaCroix weighs in on the J-Rod split, and more. The woman who does hair for The View swears she isn't secretly sabotaging Meghan McCain. Indianapolis FedEx shooter was former employee, previously investigated by FBI. Madison LaCroix wishes Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez the best. Marjorie Taylor Greene is leading an America First caucus that wants to uphold Anglo-Saxon political traditions. The Week contest, Tyrant Tips. Amazon's Lord of the Rings show will reportedly cost a jaw-dropping $465 million for one season. Biden bungles the politics of refugees. The following headlines are from the Texas Observer. Allegedly this week, instead of addressing mass shootings, lawmakers expand gun rights. The next headlines are from Physics Buzz News. 2 eruptions, both lacking dignity. The next headlines are from Universe Today. Astronauts will soon be getting a space fridge, keeping everything cold in 0G. Biden administration is looking for a 6.3% increase in NASA's budget for 2022. Citizen scientists discover a new feature in star formation, yellow balls. These are the news headlines for today, Saturday, April 17th. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. Is Jupiter a key to finding dark matter? Earliest known honey jars in Africa are 3,500 years old. How to take photos of star trails. Astronaut Soichi Noguchi sets a new space record. The next news is from Politico. Biden's first 100 days. McCarthy responds to MAGA caucus, GOP isn't party of nativist dog whistles. Feds hit Roger Stone with $2 million tax suit. Broken promise, Biden's backtrack on refugees still slammed by advocates. Cash floods into battle for control of Congress. Gates' ex-girlfriend feared alleged sex trafficking victim Tate call for feds. Biden defends his gun reform strategy. Opinion How Substack revealed the real value of writers' unfiltered thoughts. Why Biden isn't getting flamed as being soft on terror. Big spending on personal security ignites post-January 6th debate over members' budgets. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. AFL 2021 Live updates, Lions dominating Dons, Power leading Blues, Dogs destroy Suns, GWS pinch thriller against Swans. Dusty, Daylight, and 4 contenders, who's the AFL's number 2? Burgess the star as South Edge Tigers amid Golden Point drama. Branch members threaten to quit if LNP parachutes outsider into Laning's seat. An insight into the mind of Queensland cop killer Ricky Madison. Pandemic lockdowns did not cause increase in suicides, research shows. The Cole by-election in the Upper Hunter. Buddy kicks 5-buck Giants storm home to pinch thrilling derby win. 8 Bulldogs party as the Bond celebrates 150th in style. Raging Inferno, worldwide COVID-19 death toll tops a staggering 3 million. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. In one chart, this Dogecoin chart offers the clearest explanation for the buzz surrounding the joke crypto. NBA star Kevin Durant invested in Coinbase in 2017. His stake is now worth 53 times what it was worth then. Capital Report, Biden, Suga vow to jointly confront challenges from China. Market Extra, get ready for stock buybacks to roar back. Market Snapshot, Dow and S&P 500 finish at records, book 4 weeks of gains in a row. Newswatch, this Dogecoin chart offers the clearest explanation for the buzz surrounding the joke crypto. Market Extra, Bank of America tops charts with $15 billion bond deal, the biggest ever from a bank. Market Extra, this new ETF gets you access to the backbone of the crypto world. Bond Report, 10-year Treasury yield posts largest weekly decline in about 10 months. Capital Report, after year of pandemic, Capitol Hill slowly sees signs of return to normalcy. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. Do you actually own the IP generated by your Canadian employees? J.D. Supra. Best Friends, Apple gets a new day in court over IP, light reading. Other barks and bites for Friday, April 16. Apple gets new damages trial in Optus wireless case, Tillisig Energy's Biden administration to snub TRIPS waiver, and Fifth Circuit affirms FTC penalty against Impact's pay-for-delay settlement, IPWatchdog.com. What to watch as Justice's eye restriction on patent attacks, Law 360. Federal Circuit invalidates means plus function claims for computer-implemented inventions, intellectual property, United States, Mondac News alerts. Startups, research funding continue to drive UNC's $15 billion economic engine, Triangle Business Journal, Triangle Business Journal. Managing priority in U.S. and European patents, Lexology. Patent examination finally begins in the Kuwaiti Patent Office, Lexology. COVID-19, vaccine production and distribution has exposed and intensified global inequality, scroll in. The next headlines are from Quartz. Max Levchin on how a firm plans to survive the land grab and buy now pay later. How new discoveries in West Africa could rewrite prehistory. Weekend edition, what's next for Amazon workers, Edgar Snow, Zoom backgrounds. How much money will Pfizer and Moderna make from their booster shots? 14 slides on why retail trade is booming and why it matters. New Zealand is hitching its economic future to Amazon's Lord of the Rings series. Brexit's tab as banks leave for Europe, $1.2 trillion and counting. What we know about the economic recovery from the emoji being used on Venmo. The reason Zoom fatigue hits women harder than men. Taser stun guns have a big design problem. The following headlines are from Tech Dirt. PlayStation Y2K-like battery bug about to become a problem as Sony shuts down check-in servers. Content moderation case study, Friendster battles Fakesters, 2003. Stephen Biss loses yet again, judges still resist sanctions. Released body cam footage shows Chicago cop shoot and kill an unarmed 13-year-old. Republicans' big tech accountability platform calls for both more and less moderation, and a not fairness doctrine. Daily Deal, Relay That Design app. MasterCard lays down new rules for streaming sites that require them to review content before publication. Wall Street doc jocks are worried about a modest uptick in broadband competition. Platform Wars update, Epic Store losing $330 million per year to acquire customers. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Actor Vivek. Laura Bassi. The Courier. Jabari Parker. Prince Philip funeral. Synchronic. Anthony Mackie. Everton vs Tottenham. Brooke Baldwin. Donovan Mitchell. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. The Great British Garden Gnome Famine, Elf is on the way after Suez Canal snarl up and COVID deprive UK of beloved ornaments. Conor McGregor demands UFC create richest mother of Kerr belt as he flashes $600K casino on my wrist. Cruise ship helps evacuees flee new blast from St. Vincent volcano that was visible from space, photos. Jose Mourinho has blunt response for Paul Pogba after French star Savage's former Man Utd boss. Protesters smash windows and set fires in Oakland as anger over recent police shootings spreads across U.S. videos. Russia continues slashing foreign debt, cuts it by $8.6 billion in start of year. Touchdown, Expedition 64 back on Earth after 6 months on International Space Station. Protesters scuffle with Chicago police during march against shooting of teenager Adam Toledo, videos. Huge mistake, Florida Governor DeSantis blasts COVID-19 lockdowns, including the one he ordered last year. U.S. laments unwanted escalation and warns it reserves right to retaliate after Russia's tit-for-tat response to Biden's sanctions. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. Globalists will need another crisis in America as their reset agenda fails. I shoot a bunch of 3D printed guns, do my hand survive? Third worldization, the slow-burning SHTF of America. Democrats brace for defund the police movement to damage party into midterms. The military origins of Facebook, Part 1. White House dedicates $1.7 billion to tracking COVID mutations across U.S. The U.S. Air Force has big plans for the Hexa flying car. Chinese aluminum price soar to 11-year highs as decarbonization efforts slash energy to smelters. The Central Intelligence Agency used to infiltrate the media, now the Central Intelligence Agency is the media. Hunter Biden's memoir flops despite media fluffing. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. Russian security service briefly detains Ukrainian diplomat. Lula, Brazil's businessmen should pray I return as president. Iran says GCC trying to derail nuclear talks in Vienna. Prince Philip, small funeral to bid farewell to Duke of Edinburgh. Is Turkey's economy heading towards another recession? Israeli airstrikes target Gaza again after rocket attack. Myanmar frees thousands of prisoners but many dissidents excluded. The campaign against the climate, debunking climate change denial. WHO very concerned as virus numbers climb in Papua New Guinea. Frightening, weekend shutdown in Delhi as COVID grips India. The next headlines are from Breitbart. CNN's Cuomo, if cops were killing white kids it would have ended a long time ago. Multiple anti-Trump lawmakers spend thousands in campaign cash on security services. CNN's Lemon, you don't see racists flourishing in the Democratic Party. Watch, BLM activist asks when people ready to get blood on their hands? Watch Live, hundreds of anti-police protesters march in D.C. Jail killer cops protester decries U.S. for white supremacy, capitalism, patriarchy. Biden-Harris administration to ramp up experiments using aborted baby body parts. Dem Rep Dean, Republicans who say election was stolen from Trump make everyone in this country unsafe. Fauci, fully vaccinated people could go to indoor restaurants, but you want to be careful if there's high infection rate in community. Holland reverses Trump oil, gas policy, climate change priority of Interior Department. The next headlines are from UPI News. Family's scenic route home from vacation leads to $777,777 lottery prize. Look, firefighters rescue kitten with head stuck through wheel lug hole. Soccer ball floats from Ireland to Wales, owner identified. British garden stores facing gnome shortage. Watch, dog rescues smaller dog from owner's backyard pool. Watch, bird drops fish onto truck's windshield in North Carolina. British Columbia singer breaks record for lowest note by a female. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. Guy Fieri's restaurant employee relief fund has raised almost $25 million for struggling workers. Shaq helps pay for stranger's engagement ring. I'm just trying to make people smile. It's time to watch the biggest meteor shower of the spring, known for its fireballs. Endangered trout may soon return to Los Angeles. This guy missed traveling and has recreated airplane meals to get through lockdown. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Saturday, April 17th. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. Scientists have described a dinosaur's butthole in exquisite detail. New Jersey high school wrestling coach is CEO of $100 million firm that owns one deli. Mystery animal sighting in Krakow ends up being a croissant. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert are lone votes against reauthorizing bill to help leukemia patients. Law and crime, Florida House passes bill banning transgender women student athletes and allowing for genital inspections. Chinese woman goes viral after hitting boss with mop for alleged harassment. Pentagon confirms pyramid-shaped UFO video footage is authentic. There's a single New Jersey deli doing $35,000 in sales valued at $100 million in the stock market. Teenage ginger assassin ends bowling's 30-year wait for incredible feat. Thousands come together for dung throwing festival in India. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. A love letter to Eve Online's tutorial. The Flair 58 espresso maker is a coffee lover's dream machine. How to turn your e-bike into a cargo hauling car replacement. How a theoretical mouse could crack the stock market. Amazon's new algorithm will spread workers' duties across their muscle tendon groups. Canadian police pull over car thinking driver is drunk. Nope, it's self-driving. Hell yeah, the Kindle lock screen can now display book covers. Screen record and capture lossless quality audio with this Mac app bundle on sale. Watch these crazy Germans put a Tesla motor in a vintage VW truck. Washington state effectively bans gasoline vehicles from 2030. The following headlines are from Science Daily. Simulations reveal how dominant SARS-CoV-2 strain binds to host, succumbs to antibodies. Scientists may detect signs of extraterrestrial life in the next 5 to 10 years. Unconventional takes on pandemics and nuclear defense could protect humanity from catastrophic failure. Tarantula's ubiquity traced back to the Cretaceous. On the pulse of pulsars and polar light. COVID-19, scientists identify human genes that fight infection. Female protective effect, researchers find clues to sex differences in autism. Hidden magma pools pose eruption risks that we cannot yet detect. Study shows past COVID-19 infection doesn't fully protect young people against reinfection. A new super-Earth detected orbiting a red dwarf star. The next headlines are from Information Week. Forecast of the future of work from MIT Sloan CIO Symposium. How to ensure your machine learning models aren't fooled. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Saturday, April 17th from over 100 sources, to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from NASA News. NASA astronaut Kate Rubins, crewmates return safely to Earth. As Artemis moves forward, NASA picks SpaceX to land next Americans on Moon. NASA statement on nomination of Pam Melroy for Agency Deputy Administrator. NASA celebrates Earth Day by showing how we are connected by Earth. NASA to announce selection of human lander for Artemis moon mission. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. A $4 plan will turn historic LDS Church into Art Castle, a Salt Lake City cultural event space. Utah gymnasts come through in the clutch to advance to NCAA championship finals. Salt Lake City Councilman to lead homelessness outreach. Adaki Ali Adaki officially signs with Bayou. Kids shot near track station in Sandy. Biden backtracks after backlash, vows to keep pledge to let in more refugees. The triple team, Jazz stifle Pacers for second half comeback. How do the Jazz score without Donovan Mitchell? NBA legend Dwayne Wade buys a minority ownership stake in Utah Jazz. Latter-day Saint sex therapist plans to fight to keep her church membership. Governor Spencer Cox stands by his support of the Utah Jazz's minority scholarship program. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. Ex-IBM sales manager, fired after battling discrimination against subordinates, wins $11 million lawsuit. AI-driven audio cloning startup gives voice to Einstein chatbot. Dogecoin has risen 400% in the last week because why not? Why does Dever paint could help cool heating Earth, study shows. Kodakov bash uploader compromised in supply chain hack. Mercedes-Benz unveils new flagship EQS electrics at N2 take on Tesla. U.S. House Committee approves blueprint for big tech crackdown. Apple's App Store hosted kiddie games with secret gambling dens inside. Facebook reaches 100% renewable energy milestone. A Tesla helped police track down a hate crime suspect. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. Town and country citizens earn enough signatures to request a state audit of city government. Blues legend Bobby Pledger lies in honor on the ice at Enterprise Center. Candlelight vigil held for 3 teens killed in Valmeyer car crash. St. Louis County Councilman nearly injured by gunfire in shooting on I-64. Chicago police critics call for charges in fatal shooting of boy after video emerges. The names of the 8 victims murdered in the Indianapolis FedEx mass shooting. Grants Farm reopening soon with Deer Park Adventure Experience. Missouri Congressman Jason Smith plans fundraiser at Trump's resort. Missouri House refuses to fund voter-approved Medicaid expansion, Senate could still fund the measure. Father of 5 shot and killed in St. Louis, 45-year-old had been working as Lyft driver. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Small llama ranch forced to stop giving tours. 600 vaccine doses to be administered in Saturday clinic in San Isidro. Woman dies in double stabbing inside East County home. Lawmaker calls to halt proposed placements of sex offenders in East County. Volunteers sought for trial of new plant-based COVID-19 vaccine. Padres activate Tatis ahead of big series against Dodgers. This is as good as it gets. More fans file into Petco Park with new seating guidance. Hundreds turn out for no appointment clinic as vaccine eligibility expands. 3 inmates deny murder charge in Chula Vista jail beating. The next headlines are from SpookNews.com. Hollyoaks Fergus spies on Perry with hidden camera in sick twist. Amazon Addict, this app helps New Yorkers shop local online, Bedford plus Bowery. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau speaks with Queen about Philip. Why the new sanctions against Russia are really about 2016. Opinion how Kash Patel rose from obscure Hill staffer to key operative in Trump's battle with the intelligence community. Queen Elizabeth steps out for the first time after husband Prince Philip's death to walker dogs. Drop everything and start watching The Bureau. Russia objects to U.S. sanctions, U.S. gets UK, EU support, vaccine cold chain remains a target, Iran says Natan's back in business. Queen Elizabeth releases her first official statement that doesn't include Prince Philip. Spy City lives up to its name with complex Cold War intrigue. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. XTEND delivers counter-drone interceptors to U.S. military. Japan's first RQ-4B drone completes maiden flight. Northrop Grumman secures $99 contract for advanced Hawkeye aircraft for France. Kazakhstan Su-30 fighter crashes over Balkhash. The next headlines are from SupChina, top news about China. Jimmy Lai gets a year in prison for pro-democracy protests. Is this patriot enough? A conversation on Asian identity and anti-Abi hate with George Takei and Lee Wong. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Saturday, April 17, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. Santa Clara County welcomes back sports, entertainment. For fun things, here's what's happening in the Bay Area. Hundreds take to Oakland streets protesting police killings. San Francisco police launch anonymous tip line for Chinese language speakers. Contra Costa County vaccinates hundreds at COVID-19 walk-in clinics. Will California reopen June 15? Health officials weigh in. Selena Quintanilla would have turned 50 years old today. Oakland fire stations fully staffed ahead of fire season. New conservative group would save Anglo-Saxon traditions. 8 victims killed in Indianapolis FedEx mass shooting identified. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Riot declared after windows smashed in Portland protests. Seager homers in 12th, Dodgers top Padres 11-6 in first hustle. Explainer, what Chicago boy's death says about foot pursuits. Iran starts enriching uranium to 60%, its highest level ever. Chicago police critics call for charges in shooting of boy. Minnesota mayor blasts police tactics to control protesters. Trump appointee obstructed investigation of Sterigenics, new EPA report says. Rosemont Entertainment District resuming concerts, debuting venues inside Old Hofbrauhaus. Alus thought to enter politics 5 years ago, and now Vivek is St. Charles' new mayor. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Pedestrian bridges at Seattle's Ballard Locks set to reopen in April, fish ladder remains closed. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Green alert for tropical cyclones Yuragi 21, population affected by Category 1, 120 km per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Drought is ongoing in Bolivia, Brazil. Drought is ongoing in Mozambique. Drought is ongoing in Mexico. Drought is ongoing in China, India, Nepal. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in Angola, Congo, DRC. Drought is ongoing in Afghanistan, China, Iran, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Drought is ongoing in Algeria, Libya, Tunisia. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Saturday, April 17th in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Scattered showers today, here's when we dry out. Indianapolis shooting, police ID killer in FedEx shooting as former employee Brandon Scott Hull, 19. Coast Guard, 2 more capsized victims recovered off Louisiana. Humble ISD middle school teacher accused of victimizing a student, charged with possession of child pornography. Houston Methodist Baytown Hospital nurses feel they're being forced to get vaccine. Woman killed in what deputies believe was an accidental shooting in Northwest Harris Company. Oscar-winning actress Marlee Matlin continues to be champion for deaf, blind community and feeling through. Kristen Smart disappearance, how a shy podcaster helped police crack 24-year-old cold case. Trump ally Roger Stone sued by Justice Department over $2 million in unpaid taxes. Fira Festival settlement may award ticket holders more than $7,000 each. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. The latest, royal family releases Philip montage set to poem. Italy judge weighs Salvini trial for 2019 migrant standoff. American, 2 Russians return to Earth from space station. Order of service for the funeral of Prince Philip. Seager's homer in 12th sends Dodgers to 11-6 win over Padres. China says US-Japan actions are stoking division. France delivers game-winning hit, Mariners drop Astros 6-5. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Pressure mounts on NJ to follow NY's lead and fund aid for undocumented workers. Extra extra, why are we still panicking at every picture of people drinking outdoors? Man carrying unloaded AK-47 rifle in Times Square subway station taken into custody. Photos, a blue Big Bird stars in Alex de Cortez roof garden installation at the Met. 72-year-old woman killed by SUV driver while walking on Bay Ridge sidewalk. Spent all day with this interactive map of New York City's astounding linguistic diversity. 10,000-year-old legacy of biodiversity endangered by Queen's Development Project. What have we learned about ranked choice voting elections so far? Coronavirus statistics, tracking the epidemic in New York. 13 months into pandemic schooling, NYC teachers yearn for stability. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. Colombia gives nearly 1 million Venezuelan migrants legal status and right to work. Soaring food prices, conflicts driving hunger, rise across West and Central Africa, WFP. Libya, Security Council backs ceasefire mechanism, calls for withdrawal of foreign forces and mercenaries. Vaccine equity the challenge of our time, WHO chief declares, as governments call for solidarity, sharing. Guterres urges cities to embrace generational opportunity for climate action, sustainable development. COVID-19 infections approaching highest rates ever, WHO warns. Interview, Myanmar military increasing efforts to keep truth from getting out, UN expert says. Northeast Nigeria violence forces 65,000 to flee, humanitarians targeted by armed groups. Trafficking survivor and son born of rape face daily discrimination upon return to Nigeria. World moving towards a devastating marriage of artificial intelligence and weapons of war. The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. Pfizer CEO says third COVID vaccine dose likely needed within 12 months. Hong Kong billionaire and newspaper tycoon Jimmy Lai gets 12 months in prison for a role in anti-Beijing protests. Police, 8 dead in shooting at FedEx facility in Indianapolis. The Central Intelligence Agency used to infiltrate the media, now the Central Intelligence Agency is the media. Biden's trillions spark historic labor shortage, record 42% of businesses cannot fill job openings. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Did Pat Robertson sharply criticize police use of force? Are these dildos really 28,000 years old? Jeffree Star hospitalized after car accident in Wyoming. Is the Bobcat a taxman's wife video real? Retired Ohio sheriff and tiny K-9 partner die the same day. Chicago police critics call for charges in shooting of Adam Toledo. FBI says it interviewed FedEx mass shooter last year. Did Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot claim Adam Toledo had a gun when cops shot him? Were MGT, Lauren Boebert the only lawmakers who voted against marrow donor bill? We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. Younger is the perfect show to usher us out of TV's horrible pandemic era. Just getting into college is almost a full-time job. In the Earth is the first must-see COVID horror movie. Pierre A. Bernard was yoga's first star guru, then a sex scandal led to jail. Joaquin Phoenix really wants you to watch this documentary about a lovable pig. How the vaccine line became the latest place to hook up. The J&J vaccine drama is just the latest reminder of the risks women constantly take. Biden's new normal is trashing American norms. Sharon Osbourne and Bill Maher whine about cancel culture. Chicago protesters march over sick and sad police killing of 13-year-old Adam Toledo. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Yankees raise reactions to object-throwing fans. U.S. sues Trump ally Roger Stone, alleging he owes about $2 million in unpaid taxes. The top 10 wide receivers heading into 2021 NFL Draft. Florida beachgoers form human chain to save swimmer. Rays get best revenge for past Yankees beatings, win games. The following headlines are from astronomy.com. The sky this week, the Lyrid meteor shower peaks. You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. SpaceX Crew Dragon cleared for launch. Biden working to ensure U.S. will have booster COVID-19 shots, if necessary. Science journalist says Earth is on verge of another mass extinction. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. Dante Wright protests, several people arrested as activists rally outside Minnesota police station. Cop broke elderly woman's arm after she tried to take small items from Colorado Walmart while battling dementia, lawsuit says. Victims identified in Indianapolis FedEx mass shooting. New Zealand moves closer to banning next-generation smoking. Portland, or, police fatally shoot man in park, protesters gather. Biden puts China on notice in meeting with Japanese premier at White House. Biden backtracks, vows to lift Trump-era refugee cap after outcry from Dems. Liberty University sues Jerry Falwell Jr., says he owes millions after sex scandal. As anger lingers, Adam Toledo police shooting video leaves Chicago with familiar questions about police tactics. That debt is just up to people's necks. Schumer wants Biden to forgive $50 K person in student loans. The following headlines are from military.com. Marine injured in Camp Lejeune barracks shooting. Pentagon shipping more Moderna doses overseas to cover loss of J&J vaccine. Raul Castro confirms he's resigning, ending long era in Cuba. 51 West Point cadets caught cheating must repeat a year. Army prepares to release final investigations into potential leadership failures at Fort Hood. Oathkeeper is first suspect to plead guilty in Capitol riot. A resurrected First Fleet is the weapon the Navy needs to counter China, former SecNav says. The 4.7 million Americans who served in World War I now have their own national memorial in D.C. Russia to expel 10 U.S. diplomats in response to Washington. Fort Hood's Vanessa Guillen tragedy leads to Army-wide overhaul of sexual assault, harassment prevention. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. Illinois law aimed at preventing people with HIV from transmitting the virus has been criticized as unfair and unscientific. Activists are pushing for a full repeal. Cook County prosecutor blamed for error in court description of Adam Toledo shooting is placed on leave, sources. Illinois COVID-19 vaccine tracker, 88,190 additional people fully vaccinated for a total of 3,182,010, 24.97% of the state's population including 63.1% of those over 65, 166,885 doses administered yesterday. Video made my blood boil, protesters march in Logan Square to demand justice for 13-year-old Adam Toledo. The spin, Madigan's legal bills skyrocket. Illinois lawmakers considering legislation that could hike ComEd bills after scandal politicians on Adam Toledo police shooting video. Illinois Health Department sets aside vaccine appointments for college students. Illinois lawmakers considering legislation that could hike ComEd bills less than a year after utility admitted multi-million-dollar bribery scheme. Man hit by South Shore Line train has died, train officials say. Column, The Journey of Heather McGhee, the Chicago-born author of The Sum of Us, a bestseller on what racism costs us all. Chicago would create public database of closed complaints against police officers under city council proposal. Mayor Lori Lightfoot said she opposes. The following headlines are from FIS.org. Once again, volcanic Caribbean island looks to recovery. 2 Russian cosmonauts, NASA astronaut return from International Space Station. NASA chooses SpaceX to take humans back to Moon. New blast at St. Vincent volcano, cruise ship helps evacuees. Godzilla shark discovered in New Mexico gets formal name. SpaceX's next crew arrives in Florida for Earth Day launch. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Saturday, April 17th, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from Discover magazine. what the oldest known cave painting reveals about early humans, and what it doesn't. Japan just had its earliest peak bloom of cherry blossoms in 1,200 years. Is climate change to blame? Beyond COVID, the future of Brunei is bright. Holotropic breathing promises psychedelic-like trips without the drugs. Is it safe? The sky phenomena that may have inspired artist George Seurat. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Leading off, Mets eye clear weather at last, Cubs HBP rose. Russia detains Ukrainian consul over classified information. From Russia to Britain, Philip's royal ties spanned Europe. Funeral to praise Philip's courage and support for Queen. The following headlines are from mercurynews.com. Bridge, April 17, 2021. Horoscopes April 17, 2021, Jennifer Garner and Sean Bean share advice. Word Game, April 17, 2021. Photos, Bay Area High School Football Week 6, weekend coverage. Ask Amy, I was forced to meet my birth mother, things went really wrong. Harriet Cole, she got in a wreck after dropping me off, and I cannot face her. Miss Manners, my coworker's embarrassing moment went public, and I'm to blame. Dear Abby, I'm a hairstylist who's afraid to ditch my worst client. San Jose, 3 wounded in separate shootings late Friday. Prep football, Camp Orlando routes rival Miramonte to complete perfect season. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. Iran state television names suspect in attack that damaged centrifuges at Natanz nuclear site, says. Area popular for winter recreation closing early this season. Southern New Mexico National Forest sets fire restrictions. Arizona panel moving to restrict disconnections by utilities. Global death toll from COVID-19 tops 3 million, by Johns Hopkins University's count. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Chemical industry lobbyist in Trump EPA suppressed evidence of cancer risk. The U.S. could have left Afghanistan years ago, sparing many lives. Oklahoma lawmaker calls abortion worse than slavery. The New Mexico Spring. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Saturday, April 17, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from Eureka Alert. Heart patients advised to move more to avoid heart attacks and strokes. New amphibious centipede species discovered in Okinawa and Taiwan. A new treatment for rare muscular disease. Heart health of shift workers linked to body clock. CNIO researchers explain the toxicity of USP7 inhibitors, under development for cancer treatment. Older adults most likely to make the effort to help others. Long-term consequences of CO2 emissions. Are our oil and gas pipelines safe during an earthquake? Alpine plants are losing their white protective coat. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. Des Plaines man charged with grooming, sexual abuse of a minor. Horoscope for Saturday, April 17, 2021. 16-year-old girl fatally struck by vehicle in Blue Island. How the Super 25 fared in Week 5. Bulls begin life without Zach LaVine with loss to Grizzlies. Teen boy killed in Lawndale business shooting that left another hurt. Loyola game provides Phillips a special moment in a difficult year. Missing man, 38, last seen in Brighton Park. Loyola shuts out Phillips for 5th consecutive win against a ranked opponent. Endangered missing 18-year-old woman located. The feed from the Riverfront Times St. Louis has been removed for putting advertisements in its news RSS feed. St. Anne police switch to yellow tasers that look less like guns. Hartman, Chief Mary Barton should resign or be removed, now. RFT's United We Brunch is back, and everyone is a VIP. A St. Louis medical marijuana dispensary directory, because we love you. Central West End favorite Wildflower has closed. The next headlines are from Detroit Metro. Okinawa Flat Belly Tonic Reviews. Is Okinawa Flat Belly Tonic recipe drink ingredients effective? Any side effects? Memo Surge Reviews. Is Memo Surge ingredient safe and effective? Any side effects? Real reviews. Ring Hush Reviews. Is Ring Hush the best tinnitus and ear ring relief supplement? Safe ingredients. Cold Press Juicer Drought to close all locations. Pivot to Berkeley-based HQ. Indie rock darling Waxahachie announces rescheduled Detroit date. Rep. Jewel Jones charged with drunken driving, resisting police after car crash. Legendary Detroit producer Don Was prepares for a gig of a lifetime and launches WDET series with LEC. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Saturday, April 17, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Houston Press. Breakfast taco full of crystal meth found by Hobby Airport SAW agents. Harris County launches on-demand COVID-19 vaccine appointment site and ditches wait list. Texans on the hook again for expired driver's licenses and vehicle registrations. Rockets tech game strong in block of ransomware attack. Houston filmmaker releases delightfully pure fake trailer, plans future horror. Openings and closings, Tres Amigos arrives, Julep returns. The 1836 project is probably going to end up being Confederate glorification. Houston's 5 best weekend food bets, fight hunger and end waste, plus the Katie sip and stroll. Bluesman Chris Kane raises his profile with Alligator debut. Reviews for the uneasily quarantined, in the earth. The next headlines are about world records making news. Arriving right on time, Baylor's Nugent blazing to records, titles as freshman, Waco Tribune Herald. Teen breaks national weightlifting record thanks to coronavirus workouts, OC register. Man in Palm Beach Gardens attempts to run on treadmill for 1 week to beat world record, WPBF West Palm Beach. Stateside, COVID surge hits rural hospitals, ultramarathoner breaks world record, Ohio vaccinations, Michigan radio. Meet the 1,042-year-old family with 12 siblings, 1 in San Diego, they hold a Guinness World Record, NBC San Diego. World record holding real-life Rapunzel makes the cut and sends her snipped mane to Hollywood Museum, Daily Mail. Duncan Scott matches his British 100 free record of 47.87 but, Swimming World magazine. Pune's Blades of Glory in Golden Book of World Records India, United News of India. Fort Hood youth join in world record breaking attempt, United States Army. Around the tracks, blind racer to attempt a new world record in a 600 kilowatt Corvette, car advice. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. Peloton resists federal safety recall for treadmill tied to child's death. Edward Snowden's NFT self-portrait sells for $5.4 million in charity auction. Here's what's going on with a Roku Remote Pro's streaming buttons. Andrew Yang hath wrought havoc on my email. Amazon might make its drivers assemble your furniture. Leaked data reportedly shows cops donated to Kyle Rittenhouse's legal defense fund. NASA selects SpaceX to build upcoming lunar lander. See the first camera collar footage from a wild wolf. This mini modular computer helps you build gadgets from scratch. Researchers get a deeper look at some of the oldest color photos ever. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was Klerksdorp in South Africa at 116.06 degrees Fahrenheit or 46.7 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Vostok in Antarctica at minus 89.86 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 67.7 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. DC's Rorschach, a detective walks into a world shaped by squids and superheroes. NASA selects SpaceX as its sole provider for a lunar lander. 21.5-inch iMac supplied Windows amid chip shortages, possible refresh. Backdoor developer tool that stole credentials escaped notice for 3 months. Arkansas House passes unconstitutional bill putting creationism in schools. Dogecoin has risen 400% in the last week because why not? Today's best deals, board games we like, indoor security cameras, and more. Valve anti-cheats permanent bans now have one major exception. Google loses location history court battle in Australia. Congressman ask Biden admin to keep chip design software away from China. The following headlines are from Raw Story. Watch, man arrested with AK-47 in Times Square subway got a COVID test first. Sharon Osbourne gives first interview to Bill Maher and of course the talk is on cancel culture. Paul Gauser's defense of his big lie is that there never even was an insurrection by Trump supporters. Kevin McCarthy argued GOP is the party of Abraham Lincoln, not racism. It did not go well. NIT reporter sounds alarm after key Deutsche Bank source goes missing. GOP leadership scrambles after nativist dog whistles from the new White Nationalism Caucus. Roger Stone accused of new fraud, feds demand he pay $2 million, report. Republicans ripped for launching White Nationalism Caucus to push Anglo-Saxon heritage. Indianapolis gunman who killed aide ID'd as 19-year-old male who was a former employee, police. Brett Bayer's VaxPick backlash shows extent Fox News disinfo has poisoned vaccination efforts. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. Leaked calls reveal Alec's secret plan to thwart Biden on climate. This commercial fishing technique is a climate catastrophe. Biden walks back his promise of raising the refugee cap. The GOP is raising money off Tucker Carlson's racism. From our archives, when the left was worried it lost, again. Planes, trains, and working women. The Oscar-nominated writers of Judas and the Black Messiah just wanted to make a good film for Fred. Businessman convicted of foreign lobbying crimes paid for secret Trump White House mission to Qatar. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. James Webb Space Telescope may detect extraterrestrial life in next 5-10 years. The Weather Channel. Articles from the Weather Channel. Weather.com, the Weather Channel. Scientists may detect signs of extraterrestrial life in the next 5 to 10 years. Eureka alert. The following items are today's top search results for the term neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity depends on this long non-coding RNA's journey from nucleus to synapse. Eureka alert. Netrin-1 receptor UNC5C cleavage by active desaccharidase enhances neurodegeneration, promoting Alzheimer's disease pathologies. Science advances. Kennesaw State researchers study of ant brains might lead to understanding changes in human brains. Patch.com. This ant can shrink and regrow its brain. Smithsonian Magazine. Psychedelics, magic mushrooms re-emerge in treatment of depression. SAMAA. In Canada, psychedelics re-emerge in treatment of depression. France 24. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Saturday, April 17, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. UFO detector disarmed by police. Prince Philip's lifelong interest in UFOs or flying saucers. That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Saturday, April 17th, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. Newsite is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by Newsite. All rights reserved.